What would you give to be good at something? What would you give to be great at something? Talent is an interesting word. Even more so are the implications that go along with it. I've seen people use the word talent as a cop-out for their ineptitude. It's as if they discount all the effort the other person has put in by chalking it up to divine intervention. Real talent is more than just dumb luck. It's a combination of passion, skill, and a ridiculous amount of persistent practice. Every great artist once didn't know how to hold a brush. Every great basketball player has missed countless shots. So if talent is not a gift, then how can it be cultivated? This question is answered by the book The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. Through extensive research, the author has figured out exactly what it takes to become talented. There is a talent code, and it consists of 3 components. The author went to what he likes to call talent hotbeds, places that produce talent disproportionately. He visited soccer academies in Brazil and observed world-class violin teachers and vocalists. And he has decoded the keys to becoming talented. Now, just because we know the talent code doesn't mean becoming talented will become easier. However, it does put the pieces of the puzzle together and helps us attack the problem systematically. As we go through this video, I will also relate these concepts to how I learned to play the guitar in a month. I am by no means a quote-unquote guitar player, but I'm using it just to show you how you can learn any skill using these techniques. Let's start with the first concept, deep practice. Take a look at the following sentences. Now see how many words you can remember from each list. There is an interesting experiment that demonstrated that if the font of a text is hard to read, it increases the retention in the reader's mind. The more our mind has to struggle to learn something, the longer it sticks. This is the basic theory of this book. The traditional viewpoint has been that we learn through interconnected neurons in our head, and the more strong these links are, the better we are at that particular skill. However, new research is showing that an equally important aspect is the insulation around those neurons, called myelin. The more you practice a skill, the more myelinated those circuits become, and the better and more talented you become. Therefore, the story of skill and talent is the story of myelin. As the book says, struggle is not an option, it's a biological requirement. Now, when I was learning to play the guitar, it was very overwhelming. There was so much to coordinate, 2 different hand movements, a certain rhythm, etc. In order to learn something, you have to practice deeply at the edge of your comfort zone and stay there. So I practiced each chord slowly, one by one, day after day, and as I got better, I started increasing the difficulty of my practice. I measured my chord changes, and every day I tried to beat my previous number. This resulted in a seemingly gargantuan task breaking up into smaller chunks, and I could learn those smaller chunks and move on. Chunking is how you can learn any talent, be it playing the guitar or becoming a computer programmer. Let's go to the second concept of the talent code, ignition. For a long time, the 4-minute mile was considered the genetic limit for a human. However, one man called Roger Bannister broke that barrier in 1954, and since then it has been crossed by countless athletes. See, that moment right there in 1954 is called ignition. It's when a spark is ignited in a human. It's when you finally realize that what you're trying to do is not out of anyone's reach. It could be anything. It could be as simple as seeing a performer for the first time and being completely enthralled. Or it could be wanting your parents' approval. Whatever the case may be, once the passion inside you is ignited, it is much easier to stick with the deep practice that will actually lead you to success. So when I was learning to play the guitar, my ignition point was seeing a guy from my school play the guitar. Something in my mind made me go, I want to be like that, and the seed was sown. After that, I practiced deep, before bed and after waking up. I understood that it was going to take time, so I stuck with it. I corrected my finger placement, worked on my transition and rhythm, and set personal records and beat them. That's how you can learn any skill. Now let's come to the last point of the talent code. Master coaches. These people are talent whisperers. Their core strength is to nurture talent. These people are hard to find. It's no surprise that the same coaches coach the world's greatest players. Look at Tim Grover, who is one of the most recognizable basketball coaches. All these coaches know exactly what the student needs. They alternate between different teaching styles for different students. They observe more than they talk. There are less pep talks and more micro adjustments. They are the reasons why talent hotbeds exist in the first place. Now these people are really hard to find. So how do normal people like you and me get a master coach? Well, for one, you can read their books. There is a tremendous amount of value in their books. If you want to become a bodybuilder but can't find a world-class coach, pick up Arnold Schwarzenegger's biography. You will learn more about the mindset of a bodybuilder reading that book than stumbling on your own way. Apart from that, we live in a digital age. There are countless video tutorials online for everything. That's how I learned to play the guitar. Find an instructor you like and watch their videos. If they offer consultations, get them. Use this online medium to your advantage to get close to these master coaches. And that's all for this video. If you're feeling overwhelmed, remember that we overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can do in a lifetime. Step by step, brick by brick, you will build your legacy. Don't think about becoming Michael Jordan or Mozart the first day. Just focus on being better than yesterday. Like and subscribe for more. Share this video and help your community become more talented. And as always, thanks for watching.